My friends, in this week's biblical portion, Parashat Bo, we read about the ninth of the 10 plagues that God visited upon the ancient Egyptians. The ninth plague was the plague of darkness, and according to our sages, it was a very unusual form of darkness. It was not the darkness that affected the eyes, but it was a darkness that affected the heart, that physically they were able to see, but they did not feel for each other, they did not care for one another, they were blind to each other's needs. President Joe Biden, in his inaugural address, challenged us to develop a greater sense of empathy and compassion for our fellow Americans. In his address, I quote, "Let us listen to one another, hear one another, see one another, and respect one another." Our country, our nation is emerging from one of the darkest, most tumultuous periods in our history. A period that was marred by divisiveness and discord, hatred and acrimony, by strife and vendetta. When scoring a political triumph over another had us gloating in self-congratulation, as if to say, boy, did I put that person in his place. On Wednesday, President Biden reminded us there is something far more noble than putting a person in his place, and that is putting yourself in his or her place. Developing this sense of empathy and empathetic imagination. As Walt Whitman once said, I never ask the wounded person how he feels. I myself become the wounded person. Or the words of our sages, Al tadin chavercha ad shetagia limkomo, do not judge your fellow human being until you are in his or her place. The plague of darkness and our responsibility to keep aglow the light of understanding and caring. At the inauguration, the 22-year-old youth poet laureate, Amanda Gorman, as she reflected on the darkness that has engulfed American society, she said, there is always life if only we're brave enough to see it. There is always light if only we're brave enough to be it. God bless President Joe Biden. God bless Vice President Kamala Harris. And God bless America. Shabbat Shalom.